Welcome to the Second Life School of Architecture, a school dedicated to the advancement of virtual architecture and the utilization of principles behind Second Life built form. Today you will be learning about basic Second Life architecture principles. The goal of this course and the goal of this school is not to mimic or parallel real-world architecture, but to establish new ideas and theory behind this virtual environment. To start off with, I ask that those viewing this course expand their minds to new ideas of built form. This is no easy task, but chances are that the building you are in while viewing this video through Second Life was not designed to be in a virtual environment. So why mimic designs that are restricted by natural things, such as gravity, wind, moisture, temperature, landscape, materials? The list goes on. Second Life is not a natural environment. It utilizes only two of your senses, and it exists in space. So whereas Second Life is currently being used by architecture firms to represent real-world designs, this course will not cover that aspect of architectural representation. Since this is the introductory course to the Second Life School of Architecture, you should quickly hear some background on myself and the origins of the Second Life School of Architecture. My name is Ted Mikulski. I recently graduated from Norwich University with a master's degree in architecture. I am interested in virtual architecture and modern manipulation of materials into the future of architecture. The SLSA came about as a thesis project for my graduate study. After a year of research into virtual environments, I came across Second Life, an upcoming 3D web browser with an extensive online landscape. This was in itself a revolutionary digital creation. Rather than creating a video game with objectives and a pre-designed space, Second Life allows us to design and shape the cascading environment. While initially flying through the landscape, I was surprised when I found that a large percent of Second Life builds were similar to what you would see in our natural environment. Yet there is a huge difference amongst these similarities. The Second Life environment is established through grids that are usually split into parcels. These parcels are owned by several individuals or groups, which usually contain elements that benefit those individuals or groups. The elements amongst these parcels have no relation to one another. Unless a single owner designs a full sim, the Second Life landscape is almost always poorly designed and negatively influenced by neighboring structures. It seems that many who obtain a parcel of land with full creation rights find themselves creating something quickly that serves its purpose. For example, if you are looking for a place in Second Life to call your virtual home, you might quickly create 4 walls and a pitched roof. This is the surefire residential structure. It looks like a home, and most people when flying by it will be triggered into thinking of it in terms of a residence. Yet is this the best shape for a digital residence? There are many things to consider when designing in Second Life for digital avatars. The bottom line in this thought is that Second Life is its own entity. It has human-created rules and boundaries. Getting a basic understanding of these rules and boundaries may lead to a better perception of what can be accomplished in Second Life. I will begin speaking about Second Life architecture by incorporating Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the hierarchy of needs, I will quickly review them. Since they, in every way, apply to architectural design, they are a necessity while trying to teach design. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the basic needs of a human being. At the bottom of the pyramid, there is the psychological needs, which include breathing, water, food, sleep, and sex. These basic human needs are what keep us alive and keep our species in existence. They are the basis behind all other needs, and are the most important. Next is safety and security, where architecture really starts to come into play. Architecture provides shelter from the weather and security from the outside world. What's interesting about Maslow's hierarchy is that it is completely different for avatars in a digital world, but we will go over that after. After security, there is belonging, which is in the realm of friendship and family, as well as love. Above these needs exist self-esteem and confidence, and at the top of the pyramid there is self-actualization, which include the true complexities of the modern human being. So now that you have been briefed on the basics behind human needs, and consequently what drives architectural design in the first place, it is time to view the Second Life hierarchy of needs. For the time being, we will call them the Mikulski hierarchy of needs, just for kicks. So here is the new pyramid as it relates to Second Life. Of course, there will be controversy behind these concepts, but Maslow had a similar initial response, so here we go. As you can see, this pyramid has 4 levels instead of 5, since an avatar is far less complex than an average human being. At its bottom, the pyramid has the need of existing. That means that an internet connection must exist along with a computer, and there must be a human being behind the screen. This is the basic need for an avatar to exist in Second Life. On a higher level, there exists sense of place. This means that the avatar must exist in an environment, whether it is the digital landscape or a piece of architecture. Above that, there is activities and services. This means visiting clubs or interacting with other avatars and consequently buying or selling goods. Above this need is a need called complex interaction. This complex interaction involves user security, texture manipulation, land alteration, scripting, and other complex functions in the Second Life world. So, now that you have a basic understanding of what an avatar's needs are in Second Life, you can begin to design for them. It is important to understand the client, whether it is your own avatar or another. To relate the hierarchy to architecture, I will make some simple comparisons as examples. In the second stage of need exists a sense of place, which means that an avatar would want to be oriented in a specific way, as outlined by the architect. In the third stage, activities and services are what drive the architecture and begin to determine the detailing behind the design. At the top of the pyramid, complex interaction is what can really achieve wonderful architecture. It is the level of what architecture in Second Life should strive to achieve. Utilizing all that Second Life building and designing has to offer will really boost a piece of architecture. Now, before I get into the specific concepts behind Second Life architecture, I will explain the principles of the Second Life School of Architecture. These are the basics behind design. These should be consulted or thought about before designing in Second Life. There are 7 principles beginning with the most important. The most important aspect of Second Life is commodity, or purpose. All architecture is created for a reason, and purpose informs the typologies of the consequential architecture. The next principle is delight, or aesthetics. Aesthetics in regards to Second Life architecture is important in its ability to be loved by the public. In Second Life, visually stunning designs are more successful at drawing in avatars. Aesthetics are second to function because purpose will draw in the avatars in the first place. Nextly is physics. Physics in Second Life are selective in that gravity and the forces of nature, direction, and force can be altered with the click of a button. Elements can hover or float without necessity for connection. Therefore, effects caused by physics no longer become an area of concern for Second Life architecture. For example, a roofing structure in Second Life does not need to be structurally supported, nor does it need to connect to the walls themselves. The next principle is materiality, or textures and objects. Materials in Second Life are purely symbolic. They are representations of colors and textures that do not serve their purpose as they would in the real world. Likewise, an avatar can invent their material by using image editing software and importing it into Second Life. The fifth principle is design-specific, and it is non-collinear design. Non-collinear design in Second Life is key to drawing in the public and not confusing those that teleport to the surrounding area. This means that the most successful designs have 360-degree ingress and egress, and are easily susceptible to flying avatars. The next principle is camera perception. In Second Life, an avatar's perception of the world is restricted by a camera angle. The camera is differentiated by the angle and height that you wish to view the world. The two most often used are the default settings, which is the camera behind and above the avatar, and the first-person setting, which appears as if you are looking through the eyes of the avatar. The last principle is inventory. Inventory is digital storage for all things created in Second Life, including buildings, as you probably already know. All objects, or prims, can be applied to the landscape through this file as well, creating instant architecture. I hope you find that these principles help you to further understand the concepts behind the SLSA and its classes. I will now go into the general concepts that should be considered in the production of Second Life architecture.